Are you fed up with spending hours and hours in the gym only to be met with minimal results or even no results at all every time that you look into the mirror? And do you feel very frustrated that whenever your favorite influencer or trainer puts out this new exercise and says, this is the exercise that doubled my glutes, or this is the exercise I've been doing to get toned triceps, whenever you try it out, there seems to be no results at all and you don't see any physical changes. And now you're at the point wondering whether it's your genetics holding you back. Do you have a damaged metabolism that's stopping you from being able to achieve this? And should you just accept the body that you're in and just maybe even give up altogether? Well, in this video, I'm going to be discussing all these things and helping you determine whether it is your genetics, your metabolism, or something else that's currently stopping you from seeing these results. So what we're going to do is cover everything that you need to know so you can determine whether you should quit or whether there's hope for you. Now, firstly, let's talk about genetics, because this is something that crops up with time and time again when I'm speaking to people. They're wondering whether it's their genetics that's stopping them from achieving results, and whether they just have to accept that body that they're living in because they're not going to see the changes that they anticipated. And this could be exactly where you are right now. So this is a very important thing that we need to dive into to determine whether, yes, it's holding you back, or actually we can move forward from here. So when we're looking at genetics, right, there is going to be underlying factors that can make things more challenging for you. Now, some people's bodies fight back a lot harder when they start trying to diet, okay? So if you're someone that's experiencing like dieting and you're trying to get the best results possible, but nothing seems to work, then maybe your body is the type of body that does fight back harder. Now, this doesn't mean that your body goes into a starvation mode and it starts storing fat because you're eating too little calories. This is untrue, and this is a myth that's been made up by this industry. However, there are some people's bodies who will fight back harder, whether they're over-exercising or under-eating. Both are important combinations to think about here, because it's not all about just eating less calories. Some women experience their bodies fighting back because they're actually doing too much and not recovering enough, okay? Now, in extreme circumstances, some women's bodies will shut off their menstrual cycle. Kaput. It'll close it completely off. And that's because their body is trying to stop them from burning as many calories per day, because their body is struggling to keep up with the demand, right? So it will do that in order to save calories. Other people as well also experience that when they try and over-exercise and do too much without enough recovery, the rest of the day they're a couch potato. They struggle to get their steps in, or they mentally think in their head, I've trained really hard today, so I actually don't have to do much exercise. I was the same. Every time that I would do a leg day, I thought that because it was a leg day and it felt so freaking hard that I didn't have to move for the rest of the day, or I could eat pizza that day because I trained so hard. Where in retrospect, I probably burnt an extra 20 calories than I would on an upper body day. So it's not much difference at all. But this is ways in which your mind or your body could fight back against you if you're over-exercising or even under-eating, okay? So when we do talk about genetics, yes, there is a potential that it can be holding you back. And yeah, of course, some people respond better to training and they grow muscle faster, right? But the main thing to get across is no one, and I mean no one, is at their genetic potential. Because for you to be at your genetic potential, that means that your sleep has to be on point, getting 8 to 9 hours every single night undisturbed, which we know you're not doing. Your nutrition, again, has to be on absolute point. All the macronutrients, all the micronutrients, like everything is down to a T. Even the timings of food is absolutely down to a T, which again, we know you're not doing. And then the consistency for all that, your training program, your recovery routine, all of that stuff has to be 100% on it. If you're doing all that, then fair play. You are at your genetic level and you're not going to see any better results than you currently are. But again, we know this isn't the case. So by laying these sorts of things out and understanding whether your genetics are determining it, right now they're not. You're not at a place where your genetics are holding you back, so you can cross that off your list and not worry that it's that thing that's holding you back at the moment. So now what we need to decide is, okay, if it's not my genetics, is it my metabolism, okay? And maybe it is. Maybe your metabolism right now is holding you back from hitting the best results that you want to, of seeing this toned body, less body fat, and being a leaner person when you look in the mirror, okay? So, metabolism then. Your metabolism is determined by a certain few different factors. The main thing that I need to get across is your metabolism isn't this magical fairy combustion engine of burning calories that's inside your body. There are certain things that actually make up your metabolism, and we can split it in a few different categories. So firstly, we have your BMR. This is known as your basal metabolic rate. This is also known as your coma calories. So that means that if you was in a coma, this is the amount of calories that you would burn. And as you can see, it is 60 to 70% of your total daily energy expenditure. So most of your calories that you burn every single day actually comes from you not doing anything and you resting. And this is basically your body just staying alive, your lungs working, your heart beating, your cell processes, your hormones, whatever it is, like this is your body just maintaining life. The next thing that we can look at is your NEAT. This is known as your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this is basically any like movement that you do throughout the day. So for me in this video now, my hands are constantly moving about the place. I'll tap my foot throughout the day, whatever it is, right? This is all the amount of movement that I'm doing when I'm not basically in a coma or sleeping. And this can determine a big factor of the amount of calories that we can burn. This can contribute about 15%, if not a lot more, which I'll go into detail in a minute a little bit more on, about how many calories that you burn. The next thing that we've got is TEF. Now, this is your thermic effect of food. And what this basically is the amount of calories that you burn every single day through digestion, okay? And then the final thing that we have on this is your EAT. This is the exercise activity thermogenesis. So the amount of planned exercise that you do, whether that's cardio, whether that's weightlifting. And as you can see, this is actually a very small component of the amount of calories that you're burning every single day. So when we think about what makes up a metabolism, these are the things that make it up, right? And now, as you can see, the biggest chunk is just you staying alive. And a key important thing to know about this is the heavier you are, the more calories that you burn every single day because there's more of you. So therefore, it's more taxing on your body and you burn more calories. But when it comes to people's metabolism, the main two things that tend to hold them back is one, not having enough muscle tissue. Now, having more muscle mass can help you burn more calories every day, and that's because muscle burns more calories than fat does, pound for pound. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, yeah, you add like 5 kilos of muscle, you're going to burn thousands and thousands of calories a day. That's not the case. It doesn't burn a drastic amount, but it burns more calories. So if you have more muscle mass, then yeah, you're gonna have a better metabolism than if you were to have more body fat and less muscle mass, okay? So that's one major thing that, yeah, your metabolism could potentially be holding you back. But the other thing could be the amount of movement that you're doing every day, the amount of fidgeting that you're doing, the amount of steps that you're doing. This is what determines how many calories you burn the most. And this is what I meant earlier when I said 15% of your calories can come from this or a lot more. Because if you're doing 1,000 steps a day, you're burning sod all. Whereas if you're doing like 15, 20,000 steps a day, you're burning a lot of calories. So these are things that we want to be thinking about of like, again, a lot of people like to throw it out there of like a metabolism's holding you back. But when we look at what makes up your metabolism, you have control over it. You have control over building more muscle tissue or moving more, right? So these are the things that we need to be aware of when it comes to, again, toning up as much as you possibly can. So what we've determined right now is it's not your genetics, it's not your metabolism, it's the things that you're doing day to day to contribute to you burning more calories and having a more effective gym plan to get results. Now, this is great news because this means that you don't have to quit. This means that you don't have to look in the mirror every single day, upset with how you look, not feeling good, not feeling sexy in your clothes. We can change all of that through a few tweaks to mainly your training. Yes, diet, but that's a whole separate video. In this video, I'm going to concentrate on your training and what we need to do to fix this. Now, the most common problems that I do come across when it comes to women in their training is that first and foremost thing is not following a gym program. If you're not following a program when you go into the gym, then yeah, you're not going to be building any muscle. Let's face it, because that is the main thing that's going to help contribute to you seeing progressive gains week on week to therefore build more muscle tissue. And as you know now, more muscle means a more effective metabolism and burning more calories every single day. So the first and foremost thing that we need to do is actually get you following a program, going into the gym with a game plan, knowing exactly what you're doing from start to finish. And then what we're going to do every week off the back of that is we're going to try and improve it. Every single week, I need you to try and get either more repetitions, more weight, or just better control and better time under tension during exercises. If you do this and try and focus on improving it every single week, this is going to be one of the best things that you can do to, again, improve your muscle mass, which therefore is going to improve your tone, which therefore is going to improve your metabolism and make weight loss, fat loss, and building muscle and being more toned that much easier. The next thing when it comes to your training is you need to start putting in more effort. You need to start training very, very close to failure. And this again is a big problem that I see women getting wrong all the time. Now, the main reason I see women not training hard enough is not through a thing of them being weak, but almost like a fear of that they are weak, or a fear that they're going to get injured, or even just being unconfident in the gym. If you're going into the gym without a plan, if you're not really sure about how to do exercises correctly, then again, obviously this is going to have a major negative impact on how much weight you can lift, because you're not going to be confident and you not know what you're going to be doing from last week to this week to next week, right? So once we start building up your confidence in the gym by firstly having a program, that builds your confidence massively as it is. But secondly, like learning how to do exercises correctly, I promise you'll start to be able to put in a lot more effort when you're training. You'll be able to take your reps to a place you've never taken them before. You'll be able to achieve things that you never thought was possible. I mean, I've done this with so many women, like so many women I can't explain, that when they come to me, they have this perceived thing in their head that they're not that strong and they can't lift that much weight. And then when I get them into the gym and I get them to pick a certain weight out, I'm like, no, put that one back and grab that one too down. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, grab that one. Like, we can do that. And they're like, I'll never be able to lift that. I'm like, promise? Like, you can do this. Who's right? Me. I was right. Sorry, I just hit the mic, so that probably made a big noise in your ears. And they do it. They lift it. And now in some cases, what I will say is they don't lift it because they've already got it in their head that they can't lift it. So the next week, I just give them that weight that they couldn't lift, and then they do it. And then as soon as they put the weight down, I'm like, that's the weight that you couldn't lift last week. And they're like, nah. I'm like, yeah, see what I mean? It's all in your head. So I promise you, like, yeah, sorry, this was a bit of tangent, but you are so much stronger than you think you are, and your body can do so much more than you think you can. If when you get to the end of a repetition, you're stopping just because your program says 8 to 10 reps, so you stop because you've got to 10, you're not training hard enough. There's a video that I done recently, and if you go back and watch it, I done 17 repetitions. No one programs 17 repetitions. No one says, okay, I want you doing 15 to 17 reps. Like, it's not a thing, right? But I stopped at 17 because that was the physical last rep that I could literally get out. I couldn't move anymore. That's the way you need to be training. So if your program says 8 to 10 repetitions and you get to 10, knowing on, like, hand on heart, you can get more repetitions, then you don't stop at 10. You keep going until you can't go anymore, and then the next set you increase the weight, okay? So once you start doing these things, go into the gym with a plan, logging your workouts, writing down the exact amount of weight that you lift, the exact amount of repetitions that you do, and you start making sure that every single week you lift heavier, you lift more reps, you train harder, and take yourself to a place that you haven't been before. And yeah, that's gonna come with discomfort, of course. I promise you, you will tone up. You will soon see that it's not your genetics holding you back, it's not your metabolism holding you back, it's the way that you've been going about your training. Now, if you're someone that doesn't have a clue how to do this, you don't know what to be doing when you go into the gym, you don't know how to be doing exercises, then that's okay. Like, it is a confusing environment to be in, especially when you're on social media and you're bombarded with the latest booty building exercise, or you need to do this, or whatever it is, right? It can feel like, oh shit, I'm not doing that, I need to do that, right? It could be shiny object syndrome for exercises. Now, if you are that person, then we need to be fixing these sorts of things, okay? Because if you continue doing this, we're not gonna see results. And if you're unsure about what to do, like I spoke about, then what you can do is head to the link in my bio below, because we're soon starting our next Project Sculpt and Tone program. Now, this program will give you everything you need to get the best results possible. We remove all the guesswork for our clients. We give them the exact bulletproof program that they need to take into the gym with them. We give them a training log so they can log all their weights and see every single week where they're improving, lifting heavier weights, doing things they never thought they could do, and seeing progress, motivating them to go further. And not only that, we actually help our clients with their nutrition. We give them personalized nutritional requirements, what they need to be aiming for, how they need to be doing things. And again, we just give them an absolute blueprint and remove all the guesswork for them to get the results. So if you are someone that struggles to do things by yourself and to be able to know what to do, then you are going to be the best person to go to that link and sign up to this program. If you're someone that's self-sufficient, then that's cool. Hopefully you got all the information that you needed from this program, and now you can start taking it off and go into the gym and doing everything that I've said. But I promise you, your genetics and your metabolism isn't holding you back. But again, this is amazing news because you don't have to settle for where you are and you can get the very best results possible. If you enjoyed this video, then either make sure that you stick around and watch this other video that's going to get recommended, or like I said, if you're ready to take things to the next level, then go down to that link in the bio, sign up to Project Sculpt and Tone, and I will help you achieve the results you've always been looking for.